Hello. Today I will be discussing some of the key elements seen in Chapter 10, which talks about writing and information literacy. In this video, I will briefly share the significant topics that will aid you into living a healthy college lifestyle. I will begin with general writing advice that will help you conduct a well-respected paper. To start off, there are many important things to know when it comes to writing. Planning ahead is a great way to ensure that your writing is at its highest potential, and you can plan ahead by writing rough drafts, getting opinions from your peers, or conducting an outline, otherwise known as a planning sheet, for your paper. You should also make sure that you are meeting the required standards set by your professor. Decipher the difference between MLA and APA format or any other format given. If you are still unsure, you should always contact your professor for clarification. Understand that all grading is different and professors will often grade on perspective and expectation. Moving into the critical thinking section, you should always ask yourself the following before writing your paper. What do you need to meet your professor's expectations? Study the given rubric and make a checklist. What topics best fit these requirements? Find relevant information that correlates to your paper. Is your evidence strong enough for your paper? Is it from a reliable source? Are you making connections and insights in your paper? Don't overly use evidence and ensure that you are making connections to support your research. When you feel well prepared and ready to begin writing, keep these things in mind so you can create your best work. Follow your planning sheet, which will act as a blueprint for your paper. Make sure that you give yourself enough time to take breaks in between the process to combat stress and frustration. Lastly, find research and evidence that is important or interesting to you. Doing this will spark motivation to write your paper, and it keeps it authentic and thorough. Once you feel confident in your paper, it is important to go back and review what you have and find any errors. A common error that students make is committing plagiarism. Failure to give credit to any sources that you use is plagiarism. So speak with your professor on the standards of citation because it varies from different writing formats. Be mindful of paraphrasing because if you don't credit the author, it still counts as plagiarism. Most, if not all, colleges contain a code of conduct, so review yours to make sure you are following the guidelines. It isn't unfamiliar to see that we live in a digital age. Technology is very influential in today's world, but understand that the information you find on the internet might not always be trustworthy or reliable. Wikipedia articles are written by volunteers, meaning that the articles could be written by anyone, and the information given could be fabricated. So it is not an acceptable source to use or cite. If you don't have access to the internet, you can get your information you need for your paper outside of the internet, such as books, which still act as a credible source. This concludes all of the information that was given in Chapter 10, and I hope that you found something that will help you create a great paper.